Let's take a look at the video here. I'll make this bigger. So this is a body-worn camera of the police officer. He's talking to the mother here. The mother has her hands up. The officer has his gun out. So why does the officer have his gun out? Well, dispatch sent him to a violent domestic call. Violent domestic calls often result in death or serious bodily injury to somebody, including often the police officers responding. So they're going to be prepared for that well-known risk in responding to domestics by having their gun out, especially when the call to 911 told of aggressive physical conduct taking place, as occurred here. So the cop's talking to the mother. The cop, by his commands, we can tell he believes the violent ex-boyfriend is still in the home, and he's calling for the violent ex-boyfriend to come out, put your hands up. And that's when the 11-year-old very quickly, suddenly dashes into the room, effectively in front of the officer's muzzle, and he fires the single round. He immediately realizes that this is not the violent ex-boyfriend, that it's a child, and you'll hear that in his chatter as well. So here we go.
You better come on out. Come out, man. Does he have any weapons? Come on out.
Go that way. Step out. Go.
Come out, sir. Don't make us come in.
Look, go. You need to move. Get from behind me. Go on out there.
Where is he at?
I just was trying to tell her. She called me the fool.
Police. You got any weapons? You better put them down. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Not the kid.
Miss that. Miss that. Miss that. Miss that. He miss that. Miss that. We need a name.
Medstat, he's saying. Medstat, not mistake. Medstat. So, and the kid gets shot and runs right out of the house, right? That's what we see here. There's the kid in the red and white shirt. I think we see him run right past the cop at the doorbell.
Oh my God.
Kid keeps going.
Oh my God.
There he goes.
Not the kid.
Miss that. Miss that.
So it says something about the stopping power of what's presumably a 9mm. It's definitely a Glock. We're going to have a show tomorrow about how many bullets are you allowed to fire in self-defense. But one reason the round counts tend to go up is that handguns are pretty ineffective at stopping people if they don't want to be stopped, unless you hit the central nervous system or something vital. And even then, if you hit something vital, if it's a mortal injury, eventually, it may not stop them immediately. Certainly didn't hear. 11-year-old gets shot in the chest with a 9mm round and just keeps running and fortunately survives the injury. Now, the kid comes out. Now, the cop what's he expecting? He's expecting a violent ex-boyfriend to come out, hopefully with his hands up. But if he comes out in attack mode, this officer is prepared to instantly defend himself. Close quarters, a lot of rubble. Someone could be on you very quickly. That's what the cop is mentally prepared for, based on the information he has. The mother at the door didn't say, hey, my 11-year-old's in the house. Make sure you don't shoot him. By the way, would it be prudent for the mother to have told the officer, I'm not leaving this house without my kid. My kid's in the house. You got a gun in your hand. I'm not just going to let you wander around my house with a gun in my hand with my kid in there. Why? Because this could readily happen, right? Anyway, the cop's all wired up, waiting for a violent ex-boyfriend to come out, and this happens. Kid just comes running out. Bam, shot right there. The kid could have said, hey, I'm in here. I'm in here, officer. But no, the officer didn't have any of that information. We don't know if the officer knew there was a child in the house at all. I mean, of course, it was this child who called 911. But we don't know what information was communicated by dispatch to the officers. And, of course, even if it is, I mean, we have to presume the dispatch knows. We have to presume they pass on the information, that it shows up on the cop's computer or comes over the radio, however he's being communicated with. even if you knew there was an 11-year-old in the house, you're still primed for that potential violent ex-boyfriend to come at you. Now, this is a risk of having a gun out, right? You could find yourself in a circumstance in which you only have an instant to make a decision. Tennessee versus Garner, one of the seminal U.S. Supreme Court cases that defines the boundaries of when police officers can use deadly force in the course of their duties, makes the observation that we have to take into consideration that police are often making decisions in very dangerous, very time-constrained circumstances. So we can't look back at events with 2020 hindsight, frame by frame. This officer didn't get to watch this frame by frame. He had to react in real time. He did only fire one shot and then appears to instantly have been able to evaluate that this was not the violent ex-boyfriend he was concerned about. By the way, you might think to yourself, based on 11-year-olds that you know, that it would be impossible for anyone to look at an 11-year-old under any circumstances and perceive them as a deadly force threat. Well, it can happen, and it can reasonably happen, because not all 11, 12, 13-year-olds look like the 11, 12, 13-year-olds you might have at your local elementary school where your kids might have attended. Some of them are really big.